Three Gifted Men. Once again, King Vikram returned to the tree, took down the corpse, threw it across his shoulder, and began to walk towards the burial ground. When he had walked just a few paces, the Betala in the corpse began to speak. O king, you are extraordinarily gifted and courageous. But are you using those talents properly? Or are you squandering them on wasted exercise, rather like the three gifted men in the well known story? Shall I narrate it to you? And the Betala began. Down in a southern state, there once lived a rich landlord who had one son and three daughters. The daughters had been recently married to well to do young men, but the son Sangameshwar was yet to be married. One day, after his sisters went away to their marital houses, Sangameshwar decided to visit them to find out if they were happy. So off he went on his mission. When he reached his eldest sister's house, she welcomed him warmly. Finding his sister alone that afternoon, Sangameshwar asked her, "How are you, sister? How do you get along with your husband?" She sighed. "I can't say that I'm very happy," she said. "My husband is very talented and he is also very wealthy. He's a gifted archer, but there is a very little work that he can find. So every morning, to keep his skills finely honed, he practices archery using me as his target. He places a bowl on my head and aims at it. I feel quite faint with fear that I may be hit." Sangameshwar nodded thoughtfully and soon left. A couple of days later, he reached his second sister's house. "But why does she look so pale?" When he inquired after her welfare, she burst into tears. "I was a lot happier at our father's house," she wept. "My husband has an extraordinary gift. He can see what is going on in all the three worlds. But what's the use? He spends the whole day watching the celestial dances in the Lord Indra's court in the heavens and has no time at all for me." Her brother consoled her as best he could and promised to do something to change his brother-in-law. He then left for his younger sister's house. Here too it was a similar story. The girl was unhappy because her husband did not know how to use his talents. "My husband runs faster than the wind, but the problem is he doesn't know how to use this skill," explained the girl. "Every morning he dashes off to one pilgrim center after another all over the country and lights lamps at all the temples he visits. He returns home only at night and he is so exhausted by then that he has very little time for me." She sighed heavily. Sangameshwar took leave of his sisters and returned home. After consulting his parents, he invited his sisters and their husbands home for a few days. They arrived. "I hear that you are all very talented," he told his brothers in law. "Yet I find you do not make proper use of your talents. If you would just take the trouble of visiting the Chola kingdom and meet the king, you may benefit from that exercise." The brothers in law consented and immediately set out for the Chola kingdom. When they reached the capital, they lodged with an old woman. The three men were surprised to find that all the men and women that they came across in that city looked glum and worried. They asked the old woman, "Grandmother, why do all of you look so sad? What is worrying you?" The old woman replied, "My sons, you little know how uncertain our future is. Our king is childless and his health is declining day by day. He has been advised by his physicians to name his successor and train him in the ways of administration. Although our country abounds with capable youngsters who can be trained to be a ruler, our king has chosen not to pick any of them. He has set an impossible task and says only the one who can complete the task can succeed him." "Tell me, what's the task?" asked the oldest of the three gifted men. "The king says that the one who brings him a handful of fresh Devaparijata flowers will be made the king," said the woman. "Devaparijata flowers?" the three men asked, puzzled. "What are they? Where do they grow?" "They are rare flowers and the nearest shrub that bears them is more than 1,000 miles away from here. They fade away within a few hours of blooming. How can flowers brought from such a distance remain fresh till they are handed over to the king here?" The three men discussed the issue. At last, here was an opportunity to put their talents to use. So they went up to the king and said, "We can bring you fresh Devaparijata flowers, your majesty." "By all means, my boys," replied the king. "You are welcome to try your luck." Then the three went out of the city. The man with the extraordinary vision looked all around and pointed his finger in one direction. "There it is, the Devaparijata shrub. I am able to see it. It is in a garden that is beyond a forest 2000 miles away from here." "Thanks, my friend," said the man who ran faster than the wind. "It's now my turn to prove my mettle. I shall get there and back in no time at all." He started on his way and was soon out of sight. But the one with the extraordinary vision kept an eye on him all the time. "He has plucked the flowers," he narrated excitedly. "He has started back and is now entering the forest. Oh no, a tiger is following him. It's now catching up with him. What shall we do?" "Don't worry," that was the archer who was now alert. "Just point out the exact direction where the tiger is and I will shoot arrows at it." It was soon done. A few moments after the arrows were shot, the man with the vision said, "Ah, your arrow has found its mark. The tiger has fallen dead." No sooner had he finished saying that than the runner was back with the fresh, fragrant Devaparijata flowers. They went to the king and offered him the flowers. "Which one of you is responsible for bringing these flowers?" the king asked. They replied, "All three of us had pooled our talents." The king was in a fix. He did not know which of the three could be made the next king. Having narrated the story, Betala said, "O king, which one of them deserved to be the next king? If you know the answer and still do not speak, your head shall split into pieces." "Not one of the three deserved to be the king," answered King Vikramaditya. "They were no doubt very highly gifted, but they had no capacity to make proper use of their talents. It was the landlord's son that showed such capacity. Of the four, it is only he who deserves to be the king, because he is clever enough to know how best to use the potential of each man." As soon as Vikramaditya had given the answer, the Betala slipped off his shoulder and glided back to the tree. Please like, share and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Do provide your feedback in the comment section below. Thanks for listening.